With me now is Nabila Ramdani, a freelance journalist and a writer on the Arab Islamic world and French politics. Nabila, what do you make of this march? How important is it that it's taking place?
Well, I think it's extremely important, not least of all because of the shock that has been felt throughout France following this absolute outrage. I grew up in Paris and I have, of course, complaints about life in France, but I have to say that I have always felt very safe in the city, and this has changed dramatically for not just Parisians but French people, across France.
Nabila, you are French Algerian and you will know people there. I wonder if this sense of unity, this message of Je suis Charlie, is it being shared by the Muslim community there?
Well, I think absolutely. I think we have seen how everybody instantaneously showed, an amount of solidarity and support for the victims of the outrage, including members of the Muslim community who were very prompt indeed to show their support and indeed condemn those atrocities in very strong terms. And that we have seen the appearance of hashtags, for example, on social media to show that Je suis Charlie in solidarity with the magazine and its victims. Je suis Ahmed, I am Ahmed, who of course refers to one of the police officers who was killed also in the outrage. And Je suis Juif, I am Jewish, in reference to the hostages that were killed in the kosher supermarket. So I think symbolically, yes, there is a sense of a nation that wants to come together to overcome the shock that was sent through the nation, if you like. But I think this will, of course, raise serious questions politically how to translate a symbolic march into political actions that will effectively bring people together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose the fundamental question is, this is still an issue of security, of terrorism, and there'll be a lot of questions being asked about how these two men, these brothers, were able to actually break into a building in Paris and kill 12 people.
Well, absolutely. I think beyond the very catchy slogan of Je suis Charlie and the issue of freedom of speech that has come to the fore, the most fundamental threat to France now is one of security and indeed terrorism. We are dealing with young men who clearly had a background of criminality, close links with Al-Qaeda. They were linked, they were known to the authorities and indeed to intelligence services in France and in other countries, including the US. And people are still wondering, how could this have possibly happened in the heart of central Paris? How could we have seen, effectively mass murderers gunning down people in the heart of a Western capital? And that's why we have world leaders gathering in Paris now who will probably be talking more in the future about sharing intelligence, the movements of money, the movements of weapons, and indeed controlling any form of militancy and monitoring militants affiliated with terrorist cells.
Okay, Nabila Ramdani, really good to talk to you, freelance